Yes, now everyone, welcome back to another episode of Predicts, and we're here at the penultimate weekend of the A-League. The season's gone way too quick for my liking, but here, second leg of the semi-final, we got some big results last weekend that have set up some big matches this weekend, and none bigger than Wellington Phoenix taking on Melbourne Victory, which is going to be the first game we're going to be covering. So, strap in, and let's get straight into it. Alright, as I said just before, Wellington vs Melbourne Victory is going to be the first game to be taking place this weekend, and it's set up for an absolute cracker after that 0-0 last week in Melbourne. We knew Wellington was going to come out, they were going to play a defensive. It was just whether a question of could Melbourne Victory, could they be able to break down that strong Wellington defence, that strong centre back pairing in Finn Sermon and Scott Wooten. It's a very, very tactical battle this second leg. Obviously, the first leg, we knew that Wellington, they were going to sit back, they were going to absorb the pressure. Maybe they could have counted on the break. They had a couple of chances, especially in that first half through Nicholas Pennington. But, coming into this second leg, they've got a lot of support coming in behind them. It's going to be almost a sold out Sky Stadium over there, so it's going to be a massive game for them. And the player I'm going to highlight for Wellington Phoenix in this game is Ben Old. I think he is going to be that creative spark in this second leg of the semi-final for Wellington Phoenix. He's played 28 games this season, 5 goals, 4 assists, but for only a player that's 21 years of age, this is basically his breakout season. He's been performing absolutely incredible for Wellington Phoenix this year. And on the other side, Melbourne Victory, we know they've struggled with scoring goals this campaign. They're going to be without Zinedine Machach again through that suspension, so it's going to be difficult for them to be able to create those chances. Daniel Larzani last game didn't get the start. I'd imagine he gets the start in this upcoming game. Maybe him and Khalifi, maybe him and Valupale. We'll see what Tony Popovich ends up picking on the day, but the player I've got to highlight is Bruno Fornaroli because they need to score the goals, and really all the goals this season have come through Bruno Fornaroli. 18 goals this season, 3 assists. At 36 years of age, that's very, very impressive. You don't see anyone scoring this amount of goals at that age, so Bruno Fornaroli has to be the one to watch for Melbourne Victory. And for a score prediction, it's going to be a tough game for both teams. Really, not many goals have been scored in this fixture all season. We've had a 0-all and 2 1-alls, and then a 1-0 win in Wellington at the end of the season. So, with that all being said, not going to go for a very high scoring game, but I am going to go for a Wellington win. I think they'll just have the juice to get over Melbourne Victory in this game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Wellington win. And then the other semi-final was set up for an absolute cracking second leg by that first leg, that 2-1 Mariners win. 2 red cards for Sydney as well, and possibly a Jake Gerwood-Reich injury as well. So it could be a very, very scarce squad for Sydney coming into this game, but the Mariners, they put their game plan to perfection. Those balls over the top for Alu Kual, I think, were really pivotal to that game, trying to get in behind that Sydney defensive line very early. Hayden Matthews, he was the one to keep them out for majority of the game by himself. He's just been unreal, an unreal find for Sydney FC and Ufuk Talay. But this game, it's going to be a massive game in Gosford. Got to be a seller. The fans there have just been absolutely behind their team for the last 18 months, really, between their grand final win last year, their Premiers run this year, their AFC Cup. They're on for the treble. I think they're going to want to get that treble more than anything at the moment. It's just going to be an intense game. It's just going to be, very, very intense, very lively. The crowd's going to be behind them. But Sydney, they came to Gosford earlier in the season and they beat them 3-1 quite convincingly at home. So it's just going to be interesting to see what Sydney side comes out to play against the Mariners this week. But for Sydney, I've got to highlight Robbie Mack. Without Joe Lolly, without these big players that they've normally relied on for Sydney FC, Robbie Mack is just the player who's been playing very well recently as to be seen. He scored a lot of goals, especially towards the tail end of the season. He's got 10 goals this season, 2 assists. At 33, this could be his last year in the A-League as well, with links overseas back over to Europe. So I just think he's one of Sydney's more pivotal players coming into this game. And the Mariners, I wanted to highlight Alu Kual, but you never know with the Mariners. They could, end up starting Ryan Edmondson. They could end up starting anyone else. But I'm going to go with Josh Nisbet. How good has he been this season? 28 appearances. I'm pretty sure he's played every minute of the league so far. So just unbelievable from a player that, personally, I'd love to see back in the A-League next season. But for him, I'm sure he'll want to go overseas and prove himself over there. 3 goals, 9 assists, top assist maker in the league this season. He's just been absolutely unreal for the Mariners. And for a score prediction, I do think the Mariners will get through. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for the Mariners. I just think they've got a bit more in them. Sydney obviously missing a lot of players through suspension, injury. I just think the Mariners have it to lose, in my opinion. But there we go. There are my second leg of the semi-final predictions over and done with. So I'm predicting a Mariners-Wellington final at Gosford. That's going to be absolutely massive if that happens. Two of the teams, that over the last, really, you say 10 years of the A-League just have really struggled. But wouldn't it be a story if both of them made the grand final against each other? But anyway, if you have enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop all your predictions for the second leg of the semi-finals down below. And until next time, I'll see you soon.